Hello YouTube. This is me waving hello. I'm waving hello. So I'm Nick, and I am a novice. I'm an armchair linguist. So I don't. I took 2 semesters of Latin, and I completed the Latin course, and that's the extent of my linguistic education and high school. I mean high school English, right? But I've been reading this book, an introduction to Old Frisian, and it's instilled within me a deep burning desire to craft a conlang based on this language, right? And so if you don't know what a conlang is a constructed language is what it stands for. It's when someone designs their own language, right? Like you got Klingon. It's when the language is like grammatically complete, right? Like it functions as its own language. It's not just English with different words. So there's Klingon, right? There's Dothraki, there's High Valyrian, there's Elvish, right? There's what's another one? Esperanto is another one used in the real world. So it's just a linguist comes up with the language, right? And so all these different so how do I phrase this? I'm working on a fantasy project, a high fantasy project. I've been working on it for a couple of years now, and something that it's needed for a while is languages, right? And it's something I've really been putting off because I'm not a linguist. But I reading this document made me realize I understand a lot of grammatical things just from taking Latin and reading this book. So I'm going to take a stab at it. So I will share my process, right, for creating Old Sprakilde. Also, check out Vercingetorix. This is Vercingetorix right here. Old Sprakilde, right? So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing I did was I just typed out, just ignore all this. This is lore. But the first thing I did was I just typed out, this took me like one day to just type out all this different grammar stuff. And this is just the basics, right? I plan to rework and expand upon this, but this is just the very basics. So the phonemes, always start with the phonemes. These are the sounds the language makes, right? So the short and the long are pronounced the same way, but it's same phonemes. But the long versions are pronounced for longer, right? Twice as long. It's kind of like Latin, but a little different. And then diphthongs. So the U as in put, right? So the U is a and then the Y is an oo, right? And then the I is an I. So it's a little different from English because in English, the Y is not an oo, right? So that's how you start. That's how I started. Consonants, right? Naming convention. So this is important. The names are compounds of 2 elements. Now this is pulled directly from Frisian. Sentence structure, grammatical gender. There's no grammatical gender because I loathe grammatical gender. Am I recording this? I am recording. Case system. So just like Old Frisian, it has 4 grammatical cases, and the following are inflected based on case. Definite article. This is the declension, no gender. Demonstrative. This is the declension, no gender. And if you look here, it's flissaur, right? Flissaur. And if you go down to the first person pronoun, it's what's the U? Let me double check. Ooh, right? So it's sorry, where am I? Flissaur. Osur. And then down here in the second person personal pronoun, it's eur, right? And then third person personal pronoun, accusative plural, cheur. And then interrogative pronoun, huetur. So it's, there's a pattern, right? I established these consistent patterns throughout all the different cases of the inflection of these, the inflection, I guess they're declensions, but not really, the inflection of these pronouns. So I just type out the basic grammar rules. That's the first thing I did. The weak declension, the strong declension for these different nouns, 2 declensions. Weak declension is, a lot less patterned, more consistent. Strong declension, more of a pattern because it ends in a vowel stem. It's a vowel stem. Verb tenses, 2 tenses, present and past tense, straight from Old Frisian. So again, no gender to be first, second, third. It's not declined because it's a it's a verb. Other things, aspect, mood, stuff like that. So this is just the very basics, right? And I need to expand on it, but this is how I'm starting. Okay, week one of the Conlang. This is how I'm starting, right? Where I get the basics down. Now I will share how I'm doing the lexicon, right? So let me pull that up real quick. So this has taken me more than one day. I will show you. So this has taken me more than one day. What I did So I just started typing out words that sounded phonemically possible, right? And then I realized pretty early on that I was kind of running out of ideas for phonemically possible words. So I went to this website called GenWord. I punched in the phonemes, I punched in the rewrite rules, I punched in like how, just all these different rules, right? I'm not going to do it. I already did it. I'm not going to do it again. But just for example, these are the defaults, right? Like when you load the page, these are the defaults. And then there's nothing in the output. You click generate, and then it generates a whole list of phonemically possible words. And you can do a giant, this is what I did. I did giant list, and he makes this huge, massive list of phonemically possible words. And then I went here and I punched the giant list in. So now when I'm looking for a word, right, I'll go through and I'll find one. Like let's say lidre. I think that's a good word for, I don't know, wine. Do I already have a wine? I might already have wine. Nope. So it's a good word for wine, right? That's lidre, lidre. So there, good, noun. Yes, canon. However, some of these I did do custom because I just like the way a very specific sound sounded. So not all of these are generated, right? Many of these are custom. Most of them are custom actually, but many are generated. So I want to show you what I did for the spreadsheet, right? You guys set up the spreadsheet and there's some cool things you can do. So there's a bunch of cool things you can do with the formatting. I have it set up where I'll show you. I have it set up where you can, if there's a duplicate, it turns yellow, right? So let's say I'm working on a word and I'm like, oh, like I don't have this on my screen. Let's say I'm down here, deck is fur, but I don't have that on my screen. Let's say I'm all the way down at the bottom here, right? And I'm like, oh, like, come on. Like if I go here, insert one below, let's say I'm trying to create a new word. I'm like, oh, deck would be a really good word for I, right? And then, oh no, it highlighted yellow, right? So I already have this word. So then I know that I'm creating a duplicate, and then I can do like yek, right? Or something like that, which I'm not going to do, but that's just an example, right? So there's a lot of cool things you can do. And then here I have canon, yes or no. It's a drop down. It's easy to do. I think they call it, and then, so you can do a filter, right? So let's say I want to have it alphabetized right here, right? Sort A through Z. So now it's all alphabetized. I need to get rid of all the blank words if I want to use this column. Or let's say you want to sort it by type. Now all the nouns are first, and then at the end of the nouns is all the verbs. And I need to fill in the types for the rest of these words. But so there's a lot you can do. And then canon, let's say there's a bunch of words that I want to add for like computer or car, stuff like that, right? And I want to add them so I can use the language to write in, but they're not canon in the fictional universe. I can do canon no, and then sort by canon, no and yes, right? So there's a lot you can do with spreadsheets, and that's the power of a spreadsheet. That's why I recommend a spreadsheet over every other method, because spreadsheets, you can do so much with a spreadsheet, right? Like there's just so much you can do, and it's stored in the cloud, so I can access this and add to it from my phone, from my laptop. I have different laptops. I can access it from all of them, right? Whereas if I'm using something like Word, there could be duplicates, right? I might not be able to access it from everything. So this is the power of the spreadsheet. So there's this thing called lexember. I will show you lexember. So I'm in this Discord server I just joined, and I just started doing this today, right? But it's huge. It's so cool. So basically there's a theme. There's a theme each day of December. So furs and hides. This is day 1 of December, right? So furs and hides, add stuff to your language, add words to your lexicon. It's lexember for lexicon December. Add words for furs and hides. So what are some words that I could add for that? So I have 2 different conlangs, but this is the one I'm working on right now. So lexember, right? Day 1, furs and hides. These are all the words I want. Deer, elk, cow, wolf, bear, beaver, weasel, fox, cat, rabbit, leather, fur, pelt, tanning rack, blanket, pillow. These all seemed appropriate, right? So when I add all these stems, some of these are strong nouns, some of these are weak nouns, right? Like strong, weak, weak, strong, strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, 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 strong, strong. So this is my process right now, right? And as I go about adding to the lexicon, once it gets all fleshed out over the course of December, I'll have all these different words. Oh, and I did it for more days too, right? So animal fibers, base metals, stuff like that, right? precious metals, and I need to add more. But that's the gist of it. So my goal right now is, now that I have the very core, like, essentials of the grammar down, right? Like, I have the grammar, I have the declensions, I have the basic verbs, I have the pronouns, stuff like that, right? So I need to, I'll be fleshing it out with, like, imperfect aspects, subjunctive, just stuff like all the more the nitty gritty. And mutation. I want to add mutation because it was present in Old Frisian and in Proto-Germanic, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's, aesthetically pleasing and would be aesthetically consistent for the language with its inspiration. But my goal right now is to add to the lexicon a whole bunch until I have enough where I can actually write in the language. And then I'll do some writing. And then as I'm writing, I'll realize, like, oh, I need to add this and change this and add that and make this different, right? Because that's how writing works. Shut up. That's how writing always works. So just wanted to make this video, put it out there. This is how I'm designing a conlang in December. I want to work on this throughout December. And maybe, at the beginning of January, I can make a conlang spotlight. Thanks for watching my video. I'll be making more videos about Old Frisian, the language, history. I want to make history videos. I'll make videos about conlanging, linguistics. I actually got a book. Where's the book? Is this the book? Yes. So I got this book. I want to read it in the next week. It's called The Art of Language. It's reversed, but The Art of Language Invention, right? And I got it for free, which is awesome because Thrift Books is awesome. And it basically, it's written by the same guy that made Dothraki, right? And Dothraki, maybe he made High Valyrian, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I it's cool, right? Because this just he shares like his journey. I'm only 8 pages in, but according to Goodreads, he kind of shares just the nitty gritty and the journey behind, like, how to start a conlang. It's not super in depth, but it's good to kind of whet your palate, right? So it seems like an easy read. It seems like a very easy read, and it's only 250-ish pages. So I should be able to read this in a week if I dedicate myself to it. So this is my first, I guess really my second, if you consider this the first, and it's my third if you consider my Latin textbook the first book on the subject of conlanging. I actually bought another one. It's on the way. 2 more, actually, and they're on the way. But over winter break, I want to read Lord of the Rings because it's back there. It's this book right here, the gray one. I want to read Lord of the Rings because that one has been recommended to me so many times, right? By so many people. So it just makes sense for me to read it, right? So thanks for tuning in. 2 thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you on the flip side. Subscribe if you want more content. Subscribe. Or, I mean, you could always dislike this video if you hate it too, please. Yeah, thanks.